The film starts and we see a girl named Sloane sitting in the bathtub, rereading the farewell letter she just wrote and getting ready to end her life. But in that moment, she hears her father's voice while he's continuing, so she has to go sit with him so they can have breakfast, and while they're eating, she sits there complaining about everything. Because her sister was used to doing things in a different way, her father gets annoyed by this and tells her that they must continue their lives. And he also grabs. He checked her face to see if she was really sick and decided that she wasn't. Selwyn says she's not hungry, but her father wants her to eat anything. And suddenly someone starts banging hard on the door while shouting and asking for help at the same time. Her father goes to the door to see what's going on. Selwyn starts to hear all kinds of noise coming from outside. There are many ambulance sirens and cars crashing into each other. And when her father comes back, there is blood on his clothes, and he says they have to leave quickly. Selwyn grabs her jacket before going outside and notices the chaos to control the city, and it turns out that the end of the world because of zombies has begun, and people are forced. There are zombies everywhere. You see Sloane and they run after her. But thank God, her father is holding the situation again. And he closes the door in front of the zombies slowly, and her father barely manages to move away from the door before they hear their window breaking and the alarm bell. They hit it. It comes out that the zombies have broken into the house. They have the father attacking her immediately and they stay. They fight on the ground until the zombie passes out. Dara grabs a piece of broken glass from the ground and stabs the zombie in the chest several times. But nothing happens when he asks about her. In her own eyes, and her mind reaches, she finally dies alone. And terrified by what she has seen, she leaves the house. And she runs in the street while the zombies chase her. And after a few days, she ends up hiding with other teenagers at school. Triss notices that there's nothing, only one non-Arab car in the garage. So the group enters the manager's office to look for the keys. There is a dead man on the floor and sounds of growls are audible close to them. Carrie cautiously pulls back until he finds the manager who turned into a zombie and starts hitting him with the phone after. They take the keys. Carrie says that they have to close the doors. The teenagers started working together to do that. But Solon, she becomes very shaky and hides in a corner, then she comes out. She takes out her phone and tries to make a call, but Harris interrupts. He reassures her and asks if she was hurt, and she admits that she still doesn't know the two. Then they join the others in the gym. While they try to use a radio on to get any news, they can't find anything, except an emergency broadcast running, and it keeps repeating. The message says the citizens should stay in their place, because the help will arrive soon. Ras is trying use Saloon, who begins to think about what happened. And he wonders how she was escaping from the zombies and was forced. She avoids the moving cars, and tries to enter a house, but it is locked, so she jumps over it in order to escape from being next to me at the end. Wait. Then Gario continues running and hides behind a small tree when he sees someone approaching, but Reese and Carrie, the teenagers, come back together to the street. Mainly, and there they find Karen, mother of Triss, who is coming out of a car that had an accident. Triss runs to check on her, and the others also find her sister. The twin, Grace Karam, is usually injured but says to the boys to continue on their way. After a few moments, the group reaches the entertainment center, which is very crowded. Some people are trying to get into the balcony. He tells everyone to step back because there is no place except for just one person. Extra, Chris. He tries to protect his mother, but people prefer to ignore them without any concern, and when suddenly someone starts shooting, the group agrees to leave. And at night, the group hides inside a random house. Karen tries to turn on the light, but Carrie sees it immediately, and he pushes her and makes it clear that they are not. They have to attract attention, and they would be surprised if it was. They are supposed to let her die. She says that she was. But she checks if there is electricity, and she says that the zombies will find him anyway. If Carrie keeps his voice loud, and you put forward the theory that zombies are attracted to sound. and she threatens that she will hurt Corello if she talks to him. In this way again, and then they start looking around them. And they find some blood next to an overturned table. And there's also a bat that someone takes, and he fails. The second floor is safe, so the group goes up. Carrie sees that they should stay down, but Karam says that upstairs is safe. More, they fight over who, the one who has the power, makes the decision, and Kareem discovers that she and her children escaped from their home when they climbed the window and went out on the roof. Then Karen treats her wound while teenagers are trying to relax, and after a while, Salon falls asleep and dreams of memories about her family, and in the morning her sister Layla will write, how is it because of school after she steals money from their sleeping father's wallet, Layla. She is helping her sister comb her hair. How will she stay worried about being late for school? Then she says that they can take their dad's car, because he won't notice. And suddenly, Modi's Salon turns when she confesses that she knows why. Why is she planning to isolate? Doesn't she blame her for that? But she doesn't want to live alone with her dad. Why? Does it remind her of their motto? And the one called, Day by Day, and those people that she won't let their father hurts them again. Then the girls go to school, and whoever gives Salon a birthday card, Salon is grateful but leaves it in the car. And she promises her son she will open it. And then, in the present time, everyone wakes up when they hear the noise. They go down and see a broken window before. A zombie is trying to attack Carrie. So he immediately got rid of that creature and keeps hitting it with the bat, while Karen notices that there is zombies come closer to the house, and to avoid being trapped by the group, they have no choice but to walk and run around the city for a long time, until Carrie sees their school, the annual event, from afar. They agree that this is the best place to hide in because the windows are closed. Exactly. After he used to say that the road was safe, she would advance first, and the zombies would see her immediately, so she tells the kids to run on the school, and it will remain like zombie bait. They put it quickly and eat it. And the teenagers run in a zombie that attacked Sloane and B. It fell on the ground. Carr is trying to help her, but he also got tripped by a zombie and loses the bat in the crowd. Des is running to catch the bat at the time. Carey is hitting the zombie with his leg to free himself. Then Reese kills the zombie that was attacking Saloon, and this leaves her soaked in blood. The teenagers continue running, and they climb pictures to reach the school. Finally, after closing all the doors, the group decides to rest. At the gym after they leave, she wakes up from a nightmare and looks in her pocket and finds her farewell letter, and after a quick read, she goes the bathroom, so you go back and wash all the blood on her, and we go back to another flashback. Layla appears with bruises on her, and she says, Selin, she's going anyway. She wants to go with her. But because she's a minor, the police chase her at that moment. Their father breaks into the room and starts. He yells at Solon because she is not doing well at school and says that she is a shame. And when Lily tries to defend her sister, their father hits her. The one you yell at and insult and say, because of that, our mother left us, and she walked away. Her father beats her again, and throws her to the ground, so the one who announces that she is not. You will never come back again, and you leave the house, and at present the children find some food. Carrie wants to discuss, what will they do? Busters. They blame him for Karen's death, because he was the one who said the road was safe. Carrie swears he didn't lie, and says that the zombies move quickly. Suddenly, the curry hits my head. A punch, and then the others are forced to break their scuffle, and Solon feels she is not completely relaxed, so they leave the gym afterwards. With a little grease you find her and put some clean clothes on her. When I found her, they go to the bathroom to take a shower. And they ask her to take off her clothes. All the bruises her father caused her are revealed, and there is no counter. People seize the opportunity to ask her, what did she see? In the street, F.A. Saloon says she saw the same thing everyone saw, and moments later Saloon keeps running desperately through the school until she falls in front of the door that is in front. Then you notice that the zombies are banging on it and trying to get in. How do you run back to the gym? And do you recognize anyone from the others? The zombies are gathered at all the exits, so we need to build more barriers, and after a while, as soon as all the doors are secured, the teenagers go. The library, and I notice that there are no zombies at the exit, so he understands that this is because of the high walls surrounding the playground down to the street, so this becomes the place. Those who will be forced to go to it if they need and escape at any time. And then, how come I didn't stay tolerant of sitting in the gym because she prefers? You hear the jump outside, so you decide to take a little nap in the corner instead of this seat. Reese comes to check on her, and they talk about the situation and are surprised if their family is still alive when suddenly they hear an explosion, and the whole building shakes. All the teenagers run to the front door and Weta Suka begin. They fight. By the way, will they open it or not? How? Simply you remove a poster to look outside, and you are shocked when you notice that the zombies are walking. And from afar, they can see fire and smoke coming out of the gas station. And after they have lunch, Chris asks for the keys. Carrie because he wants to explore the place. Faraz and Westlon go with him, the three for safety. They find a bottle of alcohol in the teacher's lounge, and they take it immediately and go back to the gym with it to play a game. He keeps trying to reveal funny things about their lives, but the matter ends like a monster when he discovers that none of them have ever loved before that night. Saloon is asleep when a hand touches her face. She sits and counts something strange behind her, then she turns around, and she finds her father returning with blood. He starts shouting at her, but at that moment she wakes up, after. So you go to the roads to get some water, and there's something behind it that started to move. When you turn, there's nothing that isn't color and light. Terrified, she wakes the others up, and tells them that someone has broken into the place. They go to the library and hear a sound in the cabinet. When they open it, they are shocked when they find their teacher Baxter asleep and holding a gun. Saloon takes the gun and Baxter wakes up immediately, thinking he is going to die, and finds his weapon. Teenagers hide the gun before they take Baxter to the gym, so they can eat it. Baxter, happy with the team's work together on the obstacles, though. When they ask him how he got into the school, he says he doesn't remember. No one believes him, especially when he says that the situation in the city has gotten worse. Slom. Are you surprised why he was watching her in the hallway? Just that. He says he was just watching Shad. He was seeing what the strange sounds he heard were. And after Baxter walks, he goes to take a shower. The teenagers are discussing the subject of the gun and why. He says they will not use it except when necessary. A style where she admits she doesn't trust Baxter. And at that time, Carrie takes Baxter to the bathrooms. And when Baxter starts taking off his clothes, Carrie notices something. Bidtree goes back to the gym and tells the others that Baxter is injured, so he takes the gun from Ray hoping to kill him. Why does he keep thinking that we need more proof than just a wound, and it happens. A sudden argument stops them with Baxter, who swears that he is not injured. Carrie points the gun at him and asks. He shows them the wound, but instead of that, Baxter. He runs, the group immediately runs after him and they catch him. They grab him and he falls. But the gun falls in. At this moment they look at his arm, and they make sure that he has a wound from a nasty bite. Solon is holding the gun tightly, and Carrie tells her to fire. Ras asks her to wait. They start fighting again. Then, in Baxter, he shouts and says he will leave. To make them be quiet, and at the entrance, the main character Solon is telling his story. He was running in the city and looking for the school, when he met another survivor. And they decided to stay together. When they arrived at the school, finally, they found all the entrances blocked by zombies except Hash, which Casaro and Baxter tore open. He climbed over and entered first but didn't extend his hand to, so that he could catch up with his friend quickly enough. The zombies caught the man, and they started to gnaw at his flesh. In Baxter, he finally caught his hand on Shan. He tries to pull her inside. The survivor replied that he bit the invitation, and as soon as they were both inside, Baxter closed the windows and noticed that the man was her husband. Heart was pure, so he preferred to beat him to death before he changed. And why would the kids ask him which window Baxter used? He said that this is the window, the one in the boiler room, but they consider it as proof that he is lying and they kick him out. When Carey comes to open the door, Baxter, he holds his arm and cries at the time Baxter. He insists that he's not injured. The others open the door. And he says outside in the end, Tris remains. He thinks they should fire Kareem, him too, but the group refuses. Then Grace takes Carol to the nurse's room to clean his wound. He will spend the next few hours there until he reaches a conclusion, and Grace goes out and locks the door with the key and doesn't say that he thinks that. Carries Salim. After that, Yari gives El Saloon her answer, which he found on the library floor. He can't believe that she tried to end her life. And he is surprised. Why is she trying to survive now? Salon. She changes the subject and asks how. Does Reese know? If he was someone sane, he would explain to her that if someone is infected, their body becomes very cold. And he knew this because he saw his father turning. This new zombie attacked his mother too. At that time, Grace and Carrie decided to check the boiler room. There, they found the broken window and a dead body. This confirmed Baxter's story. Both go back to the gym to inform the others. But they have more important news, the voice that Solon heard coming from the radio. He broadcasts a message calling the survivors to Vera's shelter. Ford. The group discusses what they are going to do and Trist says that he wants to stay because they are. Here is safe and they have a cannon. Just Carrie. It clarifies that the food is about to finish, and since another fight started, Solon leaves the gym and she. Walking in the street, you are surprised when you find bodies on the ground, and with a closer look, it's Baxter, who is seriously injured, but is still moving. Solon brings the others immediately, and Grace approaches to help him. Reese notices that Baxter has a new bite mark and hears Grace. She says it's snow, so he tries to warn her. Unfortunately, the time was up. Baxter continues his transformation, and Grace falls to the ground and he tries to make up for it. They were asking about holding him from behind to stop him, and Tris is firing while his hand is trembling from the shot. She barely makes Baxter let go. Girls, my thoughts are holding the gun and hitting me. His nose. After that, Grace tries to move because she finds out, but the bullet came in her stomach. Tris is panicking over her, and both of them are collapsing, and in the end, Grace dies in her brother's hands, and Tris keeps staring at her body in despair afterwards. At the gym, Sloane is offering her condolences to Carrie, who says that they were the dumbest people in the world because they had hope. And when Tris enters, Jim Sloane is trying to talk to her, but suddenly, he starts hitting her and says that the shot slipped from him because she was standing in his way and sprayed. And Carrie pulls her away, and Solon leaves the gym. And in the hall, Solon throws a chair out of so much frustration when she looks at the ground. She is shocked when she finds her phone on the ground with a message from Lily, telling her to go back home because the place is safe. When she shows the message to the boss, and Carrie clarifies that the message is old so they won't be able to know if it was still real how it would collapse, and it's designed that they must leave, so the children agree. They help her. In the morning, the group gathers the largest amount of supplies they can carry, and Selin goes to look for traces that remain in a room. With Grace's corpse, he apologizes for what happened. And Salome says that she would have done the same thing for her sister, and she forgives him. Thras thanks. So before he uses the gun to end his life, after they take the 3 guns, they finally leave the school. There are several bodies in the street as they are passing by them. But the zombies start to wake up. Reese kills one with the bat, and Saloom tries to shoot fire. But the shot, he's done with it. Teenagers start running at maximum speed and in the end they find a car. So they deliberately set off its alarm whenever the zombies surrounded the 3 of them who know how to escape. And when they reach the house, It looks nice. They see more corpses around them, so they walk cautiously. So they don't wake up. They move through the garden behind, so they stay hidden and find that the back door is closed. So they would force it open, using a lever. Unfortunately, this triggers an alarm. But they quickly get inside and break in. Immediately, after they close the door quickly, you see the living room, and you discover that the homeowner ended his life using a knife. At that moment, they hear the zombies as they approach the house, so he was volunteering. He distracts them and promises them that he will meet them. Then Carrie runs outside the house, and the zombies immediately walk after him, and this gives Sloan Norris the chance for them is to escape safely. Moments later, the two find a stolen house. But there are zombies walking in front of the main door, hiding under another house, and they agree to wait until the zombie is not around so that one of the zombies starts walking very close to the place they are hiding in, so the two of them have to secure their spot while watching it, and he is passing by, and after a few hours, the street finally. He is free. How did he show them running to her house? But they find the front door closed, so they go to the garden behind the living room. She started peeling the wall. She's about to fall, but she can hold herself, and as soon as she reaches her bedroom, she enters through the window, and then something happens to her shortly after. Then they start searching the house and Selene goes to the living room. And there she finds Lily on the couch. Unfortunately, when Lily turns around, it turns out she's a zombie. And she attacks Salon. The girls started fighting on the ground, and Salon is screaming in Layla's name, and this makes her hold her ground. But Lily quickly began to scowl again, the failures. She had no choice but to kill her with the crowbar. Then Resby and Aslan. And she is devastated, and near them is her father. And also, he ends up dead on the ground later in the garage. Solon. Finally, the birthday card opens. Her birthday, which is full of words of love and support. From her sister Lily, she decides to throw away her own letter and keep the card instead, and then Hewith rides his dad's car and leaves the city to try to find shelter. And this is the end of the movie, and see you in a new summary. Thank you for watching.